weekend has a...
Abel Tesfaye.
I'm sorry, what?
Abel Tesfaye.
Did you just look it up?
Yes, I did. I'm a librarian.
Oh,
Well,
Abel.
Well,
Abel
we don't have
Tesfaye.
anybody named Abel in the, so I guess he's still using the weekend.
Yeah. Not using Gordon Shumway or anything like that.
Hey, it's time for...
It's an elf shout back. How about
Yes,
that?
yes. It's on Laugh.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Along with old episodes of Night Court and stuff like that.
Yeah. Old washed out episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, those aren't as bad as like the old Barney Miller episodes.
I don't know why they don't digitize
That'd
them.
be nice if they did because they're so good.
Since they're rerunning them
Yeah.
everywhere. They got to be digitized.
Yep.
That's the one with Abe Vigoda, right?
Yes.
You got to talk into the mic.
Abe
Yeah,
Vigoda,
just
right?
turn it towards you
Yeah,
there.
just twin
Barney
it
Miller. Yeah, that was a
Stick
good
it in
show.
your
Yes,
face.
it was.
Stick it in your face, Sam.
I'm just gonna have like a little nibble. I didn't have breakfast. So.
Sam Helmick is from the Iowa City Public
It's
Library.
library corner time.
Among other things. You're
nice to be
always
here.
so busy.
It's great to be in community with you both today.
We love having you.
Yeah.
And the library is rocking as usual.
Yes, they are. We're celebrating Black History and Heritage this month and have an array of displays and books to suggest, but also wonderful events.
Yep. One Book, Two Book is coming out.
One Book, Two Book is coming up. It's so exciting to
Why
have
stop there?
Well, that's how you get them. You start with the first two, then next year's 3-book, 4-book.
Uh-huh.
And then the year after that's 5 books, more
six
books.
Yeah.
Now, you're a librarian. Isn't that a takeoff on the old Dr. Seuss book?
I think that there's a throwback to that rhyme because obviously this is angled towards our younger writers. We have the oldest writing program in the nation, and this is a time for us to shine on the early talents in life.
Is, we usually have John Kenyon come in and talk about that, and John just he's always just blown away by the talent. And I don't know if they still do this. They bring actual adult writers who have published books come in and judge them, and they're always blown away by the talent that they are exposed to.
You're so right. It's a full jam-packed day on, Saturday. Is it just coming right up? Yeah, the 24th. From 10 to 3, you're going to meet authors. You're going to have book characters. There's going to be writing exercises for all ages. It's a blast. And they don't age gate. They let me come in and play, too. So if you're an adult and want to check out One Book, Two Book, you gotta pop on down.
Yeah, that's a really fun event, and it's so family friendly. So that's always cool.
Yes, and this year it's featuring Lego, so I'm going to be there.
Are you a Lego?
I'm a Lego
aficionado?
enthusiast. I literally have a Lego room in my house. So
Is that right?
Grandson.
What's the coolest thing you've ever put together for Lego?
Oh, I have about a 6-foot tall Statue of Liberty.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
My grandson loves
does he?
Legos.
Well, that's what I love about.
Kick her up a little bit.
That's what I love about the UNESCO City of Literature, too, is that they understand that storytelling happens in multiple phases in life in multiple ways. So not only are we examining like poetry and prose, but also storytelling with figures and puppets, and I'm excited.
Puppets are fun.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a puppet room in the house, but I don't know.
Have you ever had the parental experience of stepping on a Lego with your bare feet?
So I live alone. I only have myself to blame.
Okay, but
I
have you?
Yes, I have flashbacks sometimes.
That is
It's painful.
One of the more painful experiences of being a parent.
Yeah.
It's called suffering for your art.
Yes.
Yeah, or grandparent. Yeah. It's
I bought my grandson one of those kits that Lego sells. Like you said,
Yeah.
the Star Wars and stuff.
Nice.
And he had it together like in 2 hours.
These kids are incredible. They
Yeah,
absolutely are.
You get hyper focused on that stuff. Steve and I back in the day, we would get models.
Yes.
Like model cars or stuff to put together, and the glue would always be so stringy.
Sniffing the glue.
Of course, not to excess, of course. But the glue gets stringy, and the paint would run, and it's just a
then
complete
you'd see
mess.
colors on the wall.
I love that. Model responsibly. That's good.
My older brother was a pro at it, though. We had one of the Penguin from the Batman series. And he did such a great job with it. He had the patience to do it. I just never did back as a kid.
When I was a kid, we did like erector sets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With real metal and sharp metal too.
Well, and the original Creepy Crawlers was a health risk.
Yeah.
I remember the creepy crawler oven. That was look at these stories.
But back
Those are
in the
great.
60s, the original one was an actual oven, and the little handle was made of metal too. So if you forgot to like use a pot holder or something, you'd be permanently scarred.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We had, and I got a crystal.
Before the Consumer Safety Commission started getting involved.
I got a crystal radio set that you build.
Oh yeah.
And those were so
Heathkit. Are they still around, Heathkits?
I don't know.
I feel like I have a friend that said that they do some ham radio, and we're going to pick up one this week.
Oh, that's very cool.
Pretty cool. But I mean, we build our little, and it ran without batteries and
fun stuff.
It was
That's what's great about this, is to come together and to do physical things, and we hear our stories. It's a wonder it sounds like that any of us are here between the metal erector sets and the Legos. So come share your survival stories.
We drank water out of a hose. That's the big one on social media. We drank water out of a hose.
Oh boy.
But it's all about, this is all stuff that you can enjoy at the library, too. It's not just books, as we say so many times.
Right.
Sharing of stories and, doing crafts. And was it you that said that you were like, you'd get pans from the library?
I know that North Liberty circulates them. We have discovery kits, so if you want something like a stargazing kit with a telescope, or if you want like a ukulele to learn how to play a couple of notes, we check those sort of things out all the time.
I remember now. Yeah. Elizabeth Warren.
Yes.
She just posted a story, the senator, that she made cakes for her mom for her birthday or Valentine's Day, and she would get them the molds from the library, and she still does it. Her mother must be up in her 90s, because Elizabeth is like in her 70s, I believe.
And isn't that delightful? Because instead of like throwing down $40 for a cake pan, the community does. Because I'm not going to use like a
right. How many times are you going to make a
flour cake
or a flour cake or a Cookie Monster cake? You know,
right? Hot air balloon, yeah. So
yeah, it's very cool.
It's great that we all can treble and triple down on it, and then people come to us too. I know that the local library's lit event on February 15th, which is today, is featuring Rich Benjamin coming and speaking to us and talking about white flight and the multiculturalism of communities. So when we aren't creating events for you to come and enjoy, folks are coming to us and adding value to that time together.
When is that lecture?
That is at 7 o'clock tonight, and you can join us online. If you hit up icpl.org, you'll be able to find the link and join us for that discussion.
It's been a while since I've been to one of those at the library, but every time I go, I'm just blown away.
Well, and don't tell Rich, and don't tell it's Representative Warren, but I might just bake a cake at the same time, because isn't that kind of cool how your library can just bring classes to your phone or your laptop? That's kind of nice.
Yeah, you can multitask.
I can multitask today. Yeah, get double, triple down. Yeah.
Speaking of multitasking, with all the stuff that you've been involved with at the Capitol and legislation and everything, have you had time to read anything lately?
Oh yeah, I've been reading a book by what's his name? Let me look it up.
That's a great book.
Brant Hansen.
It's
called
book.
Unoffendable. And so essentially I'm trying to think about
I can be offended.
What my life would be like if I chose to not be offended and addressed people with love and curiosity. And I think that that's useful because
sometimes you have to be offended.
We're into multiple. That offends me. I can't believe that you don't like my book.
That should be a required reading.
Well, I'm only in chapter 3, so come back to me. Maybe I'll get a hang of this.
Yeah, next time you're here, you can
we work together pretty good. Yeah. If Jim ever gets tired of the gig.
This rustles my jimmies. I can't believe you don't like my meticulously chosen book.
We just interviewed a guy from the Quad Cities who was involved in the music scene and had a magazine, and he's published a book about his growing up and all the different things that he dealt with, and I'm currently reading that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That doesn't offend me at all. That sounds like a remarkable book.
Well, it is, and it's one of those, it's not quite a coffee table book, but there's a series of stories that you can,
Is this a Brad book?
Yeah.
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 Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good...
His name is Brad Harvey, and he cleverly named it I Know Why the Caged Brad Sings.
Nice. Get some Maya Angelou dropping in there.
Yep.
I'm into it. That's great. What are you reading, since we were so deeply scrutinized for our literature choices?
I'm reading that book.
Oh, you're reading the book together. Yeah. Okay.
I'm in that book.
Oh,
we're not We're not like in a book club or anything. He's got a copy. I have a copy. We're just reading it separately, but together.
I used to be somebody.
If I read the book, we could have a KCJJ book club going on, though. That's interesting. Yeah. So where are you featured in the book, if I can be nosy?
It's the part where I think the chapter is, this guy is really handsome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and don't loan a book to him because you'll never get it back.
Hey, I almost brought you that book.
Yeah, bull crap.
No, I did. I said to Jan this weekend, I got to take this book back to Hunter.
This feels like a wonderful opportunity to remind you that the Iowa City Public Library has gone fine free.
Yes, if you have. He'll pay a fine, believe me. And he's had it for over a year.
It's a good book.
Yeah, it was the Mel Brooks autobiography.
That's a great book.
And it really is
a great read.
It really is.
Apparently, Steve enjoyed it a lot.
I will bring it back to you tomorrow. It's sitting right on my nightstand.
Yeah, as it has been for a year.
I remember doing reader's advisory on that book. It's one you have to read 7 or 8 times to really enjoy over the span of a year.
Yes. Yes.
It is.
I have books that I will read and reread.
Well, I've got what I'm going to start on. I got it a month ago, but Henry Winkler's book.
You know, we can't keep that on the shelves. That's what I love about the bookmobile, too, is that it kind of reflects downtown. Like, our biographies just go. It's fantastic.
That's what I read biographies and autobiographies more than...
Yeah.
I don't read novels. I'm a little ADHD with that stuff, but I do like autobiographies, and I can grasp those pretty good.
Well, I'm a nonfiction guy myself.
Yeah.
I like bullet points, and I like the fact that the library has something for everybody, and I will read a couple of memoirs. I've got Winkler on hold. Yeah.
Have you ever read the Ted Turner autobiography?
You know, I think I read the first one in the 90s because I was reading a lot of Hunter Thompson and trying to decide if I was going into political science. Yeah.
Those are fun reads.
They are. I still read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas at least once a year.
Now, when I was a more prolific reader with more time, I used to juggle a nonfiction book, a biography of some sort, and a history book.
That's incredible.
So,
do you rock the audiobooks? It feels like that would be natural for both of you to hop onto Livy with your library cards. No, not a fan. Yeah.
No, I like to hold it in my hand and read it. Now I do have an old Kindle that I sometimes have books that I've downloaded on that I've read, but I'm old school that way. I
like the heft and the weight of a book in my hand too, and because of my current readings, I will not be offended by your choices of audio.
And occasionally, when I travel, I'll download podcasts, but I never really think about doing audiobooks.
I believe in the power of radio when I travel.
Oh, the power of radio! This joyride is powered by the local radio. Well, if you ever need to take a break and have it powered by your local library, we are a kind sponsor.
I'll bet you would.
Of your enjoyment, yes.
So what else is going on? I know you had a couple other events that we wanted to touch on.
Yeah, so definitely hoping that folks will join me to meet with Rich and hear about his wonderful work talking about multiculturalism in our society. He's been examining that for over a decade and a half, and that's tonight at 7 o'clock. But then there's also going to be a really cool screening for The Road to Justice on February 19th.
Yeah, that was supposed to be in January, but it got snowed out.
It got snowed out, and I think it's so timely. I've been reading a lot about the Freedom Riders and thinking about their history and how inspiring that is, and so to kind of follow two groups of civil rights movements in the American South right now, I think it's timely for us to reflect on what we were able to accomplish and what those who did it endured in the 1960s.
Speaking of documentaries about that, Iowa Public Television on Saturday nights is rerunning the really great public television series Eyes on the Prize.
Yes, I've heard about it. Have you watched it?
I watched it when it first came out.
Yes.
And I've tried to find it on video, and it's still a little cost prohibitive. It may not be so much now since it's like 20, 30 years old.
I wonder if we could interlibrary loan it for you from another institution.
That'd be very cool. Yeah, why don't you?
We look into it. Okay. Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that and learned a lot because, there's a lot of black history that gets swept under the carpet by the school system, and You just like so you. I remember
and
being
they're trying to sweep more under the carpet.
I remember being shocked by some of the stuff that I saw in that.
Well, and I'm inspired by Black excellence, and so to have this opportunity to focus on that and celebrate that at the library, but also as a nation this month is beautiful, right? I think
Agreed.
about those who go before us. I think about the title that was inspired by Maya Angelou. Black, Black excellence makes us all stronger and more inspired and encouraged to do this good work today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, the bookmobile's back in service.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to be hopping around from 1 to 6 tonight on it myself. I'm looking forward to giving people their holds and folks popping on to get library cards. But
Now, are you a driver?
I know they let me drive. So listen, Jim. No, this is fair. It's not the driving that's the problem. It's the directional, like. Yeah, the fact that I can find you all every single month is like nothing.
You have no direction?
None. No.
No, nor do I.
People will say, "Well, just take north," and I'm like, "Who am I, Magellan? What do you mean go north?"
Honest to God,
What do I need, a sextant or something?
Okay, I've been with my wife 53 freaking years.
Sure.
Okay, so when she first met me, I didn't know where I was going.
Yeah.
And 53 years later, I still don't know where I'm going. And every freaking time, she acts surprised that I don't know where I'm going.
So
Yes.
to bring this back to writing, this is what's called staying in character. So you've stayed in character. None of us know where we're going, but it's worked out so far. Yeah.
Back in the days before your maps were on your phone,
Yes.
my dad was a pro at that.
Oh, really?
I mean, he would get directions over the phone to visit somebody, and he would go, and then 6, 8 months, a year or two later, going back, no, photographic memory knew how to do all that stuff.
It's incredible.
Jan can do that.
That's how I got to go to my first baseball games when I got my driver's license, because you don't even know how to get there. Yes, I do, 80 to 55, and you get off at the Dan Ryan, and the White Sox Park's right there. If I stay on 55, you take Lakeshore Drive and get off at Fullerton, and Cubs Park's right there. And my dad goes, well, you can't say he doesn't know where he's going.
That's incredible.
I paid attention when I was in the passenger seats.
So they have this phrase called "explain it like I'm 5," but I always say "explain it like I'm Sam." And so even on the ICPL website, they have a nice little map with little logos of the bookmobile, and it tells you in color code where it's at every single day. And I'm like, that's probably for me, like 98% of that. But I really appreciate it because then you can hop up and you can see, okay, right there by Sidekick today, or right there by Hy-Vee today. And I'm like, yes, I can do this. If you give me like a Hy-Vee or a building. Weirdly enough, I always know where bookstores and libraries are. Those are the only two things I can find.
Listen, it took me a year and a half
Yeah.
of driving here every morning to find out where it was.
Well, we've had people. We always joke. You get lost once. Usually, after you find it, you don't get lost again.
Right.
But we've missed that turn onto the lane.
Yeah.
I remember when we first moved back out here, I'd go by it all the time.
That beautiful road with the trees on each side, it's incredibly picturesque. So you're not annoyed if you get lost because
That's true.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, this place gets pretty annoying.
There. Were you listening an hour ago?
But I appreciate the fact that one of these days I'm going to bring that bookmobile out here. I'm looping. I'm like
Great.
KCJJ book club, maybe some sort of like bookmobile karaoke. We're going to figure this out.
That sounds good.
It's going to be great. And I thank you all for giving me time because it's always a delight to know what you're reading and to share what the library is doing to support the community.
ICPL.org is the web address. It's got all the information you need.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You too.
Okay, you're looking at live pictures from Fulton County, Georgia, inside a courtroom where over the course of today and tomorrow, the